Do you want to start making such stunning graphic designs? Or do you want to better the process that you go through while making your graphic designs? Then you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you the building blocks of such stunning graphic designs that you're already seeing on the internet or when you're out there. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through what such graphic design entails and how graphic designers are able to come up with such interesting work. So guys, stay tuned, and I'm going to be taking you through what you can do to make yourself such nice graphic design. Hello guys, this is Odias from Clarix Media, where I hope you can start your journey as a self-taught graphic designer, web designer, or UI UX designer. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through how you can start understanding the 8 elements of graphic design, and at the end of the video I have a bonus element. You shouldn't miss out on that, so stay tuned and watch till the end. So guys, first up, what are the elements of graphic design? As in, what are these elements? Because most designers actually do not understand the elements of graphic design. All they do is to start designing. They start joining lines, shapes, colors, images here and there, and they come up with something at the end. But as a graphic designer, you should understand the building blocks of design, and you should keep it at the back of your mind that every design that you see out there has got these elements, and it's hard for you to come up with any type of design without understanding the building blocks or what that design has got underneath, or what things does the designer who designed a specific piece of design used to come up with that specific design. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can understand these elements and how other designers are using these elements in their designs. So guys, let's jump right in. So guys, the first element I want to take you through today is lines. So lines are part of every design that you'll see out there, and most graphic designers actually use entirely lines to illustrate specific illustrations in their graphic design, as I'm going to be showing you, and others actually use lines to portray movement, to portray specific things in their designs. But the point is, lines are everywhere. Some lines are actually visible, you can see them, and some are actually just perceived. You just have to use your mind to just tell that this is a line. So guys, the first thing I have to take you through is you have to understand that Adobe Illustrator is one of the major tools that most graphic designers use, and most beginners actually use Illustrator a lot. If you're starting out in graphic design and you haven't checked out what Illustrator is, you can actually get Illustrator and start practicing. I'm going to be making some videos about Illustrator and how you can get started with Illustrator. So guys, stay tuned. You can subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on such videos. So Illustrator encompasses so many tools that actually relate to the building blocks of graphic design. These tools have been made in relation to the elements of graphic design, and you'll find out that as you're using these tools, you have to keep it at the back of your mind that you have to understand the elements of design so that you can properly use these tools in Illustrator. For example, you'll find out that Illustrator has got the line tool that helps you create different lines. The line tool is actually it was actually put together with other tools. For example, the rectangle tool, and then the ellipsis tool, and the polygon tool, and the start tool. Now the line tool will be at the bottom. For you to get this line tool, you need to either double click or right click on this rectangle tool to get other tools. Now you will get this line segment tool. Now a line is a connection of 2 points or 2 dots. Lines can actually be straight, curved, smooth, rough, continuous, broken, thick, or thin. Illustrator gives you a variety of ways that you can use to create the lines that you're going to use in your designs. It first of all has this line tool that you can use to create straight lines, or create zigzag lines, or maybe diagonal lines, depending on the specific line that you want. Now, most designers use the line tool, but you'll find out that other designers actually use the pen tool. Just tap on the P on your keyboard and you'll get the pen tool. So the P stands for the pen tool. So the pen tool actually also enables you to create either straight lines or diagonal lines. For you to create a straight line with the pen tool, make a point or click anywhere on your canvas and then hold down the shift key on your keyboard and then make another point. So you'll find out that we do have 2 points right here. This is the first point right here, and then this is the last point. These points don't actually have to be straight lines. They can be zigzag lines, just like you can see. The pen tool can enable you to create a zigzag line. You can also create a zigzag line using the line tool, but it will actually give you a bit of difficulty here and there because you'll have a lot to do. But the pen tool is actually one of the most used tools in Illustrator. Now, I'm going to make a video of how you can get started with Adobe Illustrator. And that is one of the main reasons you should actually subscribe to the channel, so that once that video comes out, you are able to get it and you can get started with Illustrator. There are different ways you can create lines. You can also make this zigzag line. You can turn this zigzag line into a wavy line. Now, the other thing I talk about is lines actually tell the viewer of your graphic design a lot of things. For example, a zigzag line might sort of like mean confusion or maybe movement in a specific direction, or maybe it might represent a rough situation in your graphic design. A straight line might also represent direction or rigidness or precision. And then a wavy line can actually indicate excitement and being lively in a specific scenario or in your design. So you will use lines depending on what you're trying to communicate. So you can actually turn this zigzag line into a wavy line, and then you can get a variety of lines. Now you can actually do this by using this direct selection tool and actually pulling down and up these corners. Now, I think you can see the pen tool actually gives you a variety of ways you can create different lines. So guys, as a graphic designer, there's no way how you can avoid yourself from using lines. Lines are actually being used in a variety of places. For example, the design actually used wavy lines or curved lines to represent this spaghetti in this sort of design. And you'll find out that for the spaghetti, they don't usually use straight lines because they are rigid. That is why the designer of this design used these sort of like wavy lines. There are quite a number of ways you can use lines, especially in illustrations. Now, lines can also actually help you come up with illustrations that you can use in your graphic design instead of using images. For example, the designer right here used these illustrations to come up with this specific design. And there are lots of ways people have used lines to come up with specific illustrations. Now, Pinterest is going to give you more ideas on how you can use lines in your graphic design. You can actually break any piece of graphic design into the very basic elements of design. For example, there's this design right here that I actually made to sort of like illustrate and give you an idea of how design and graphic design can be broken down into the basic elements of graphic design. So guys, there's this design right here, and as you can see, there is quite a number of elements right here. But I'm going to get to all of these elements. Now, the first thing I wanted to show you is that lines are the building blocks of anything. If I can turn off most of these layers and leave this layer for the apple, you'll find out that this apple is complete. But Beneath it, there are other layers that are actually helping it stand as an image or as an illustration. Now, you'll find out that I actually made sure that I first of all make the outlines of this apple before filling it. Now, you'll find out that these outlines are actually made up of lines. These are actually lines, and I can break this down further to show you that there are more lines in this specific design. Now, I think you can see all of these right here are lines. I think you can see. First of all, what I did to come up with this design is I first of all made this point right here, and then I duplicated it and made the other point that actually makes the border of the apple. Now, lines, as I'm showing you, lines can be used to create specific things, for example, shapes. And you can create lines to come up with lots and lots of things. For example, I also used lines to come up with the leaf of this apple. Let me first turn off these other layers and only keep the leaf. Now, I think you can see this leaf right here is also made of lines. Before actually adding color to this leaf, I first of all made sure that I break down this leaf into specific elements that are going to give you an overview of how lines can be used. Now, lines are actually building blocks. They are part of what makes up any type of graphic design, just like I've showed you. Now, you can actually use lines to come up with shapes, and that is the next element. You have to use the lines to come up with specific shapes in your graphic design, because you can't just have a design that only has lines. Lines actually help you create specific shapes. Now, we have two types of shapes. We have organic shapes and inorganic shapes. Now, once a line is enclosed, it forms a shape. You should keep that at the back of your mind, that once these two dots that we were creating right here in this other canvas of mine here, now once any of these lines actually meet or join at any specific point, they will form what is called a shape. Now, guys, sometimes some individuals actually think that I can only use one specific element in graphic design, which is not possible. You'll find out that you can create actually lines using the brush tool. That is something I hadn't told you. But the brush tool is also something that is going to give you a variety of ways to create lines. And these lines can be different. You can create light lines, thick lines. You can actually also create bold or short, long lines. Any type of line, you can use either the brush tool, the pen tool, or the line tool itself. The brush tool actually gives you a way to create multiple lines, because it has got other properties right here that can help you create lines of different textures. I'm also going to talk about the texture bit of it in this video, so guys, watch till the end. There are more elements coming up. So I think you can see the brush tool also gives you this ability to come up with these several lines. Now, in order for you to form a shape, you have to make sure that any of these lines have to meet somewhere in order to come up with either an organic shape or an inorganic shape. For example, right here, I can actually make an oval shape using the brush tool, just like you're seeing right here. Now, Illustrator has also got lots and lots of shapes. For example, just like I had showed you initially, we had selected the rectangle tool right here, and we can use this rectangle tool to create multiple shapes. For example, for you to create a rectangle, you just need to select the rectangle tool and then find a point on the canvas and click, hold your mouse down, then drag. Then to create a square, you just need to hold down the shift key and then find a point on your canvas and create a square. And our square has got all sides equal, and for the rectangle, the sides are not equal. So guys, you can also actually create other shapes using these shape tools in Illustrator. Now, I think you can see the connection. There is actually a connection between the elements of graphic design and Adobe Illustrator as a program that you can use to create graphic design. Now, you can also actually create a polygon tool using this shape tool in Illustrator. You can also create a star right here. From these shapes, you can create lots and lots of other shapes. So guys, shapes are actually being used a lot in graphic design. Just like you can see this poster of Nike, they are using shapes to actually indicate the feel of this shoe and the message that Nike is trying to actually give to its audience. So guys, there is quite a lot of ways you can use shapes to come up with your graphic designs. Lots and lots of designers are actually using shapes to come up with fantastic looking designs, just like you can see right here. Shapes can actually be used with images and lines to create effective designs. So guys, keep it at the back of your mind that one element doesn't work. You need to combine lots and lots of elements, just like I'm going to be showing you in this video. Let me first get back to this apple of ours right here, so that I can show you that lines connect with shapes. Now, just like you can see right here, this is our leaf. This is where we left off from. And for this leaf, I had actually turned off some of the layers, for example, the border and other parts of our apple. So in order for you to come up with a shape, you just need to make sure that the points that you created using your line are actually connected, just like you can see in this illustration right here. There are lines that are connecting to each other, and that these lines at the end actually come up with what I wanted to come up with. It's lines that actually will give you a way how your shape will actually look at the end. So guys, let's move on to the next point. The next point is form. Form is three-dimensional, and you'll find out that most individuals actually use form to come up with other shapes that are not actually provided with Adobe Illustrator. For example, if I told I have a square right here, I can come up with a cube by combining multiple squares and making sure that this cube has got more than one square. So this actually becomes the form that I've gotten out of using multiple squares. So from this square, I can get this cube, and I can use this cube for multiple things. Moving on, designers have actually used form in multiple ways. They have actually used form to come up with specific designs through using both shapes and images. For example, in this design right here, this designer could have used a shape in form of a circle, and then made sure that he combines multiple circles to come up with this specific design, and then he also added an image. So you'll find out that form is being used in so many areas by combining multiple shapes. So form is three-dimensionality, and if at all you introduce three-dimensionality in your graphic design, they are going to have some depth, and the viewers of your graphic design are actually going to enjoy viewing your graphics, and you will be able to communicate the message, and you will be able to get more clients, because the more you become an effective communicator, the more clients you're going to get. My next point is colors. Now, color is everywhere, unless you're blind, but color, you will be able to see color. So color is actually what we see once light falls on any object. That is why you're not able to see in the dark. So once light falls on any object, that reflection it gives to the viewer is the color itself. Color is a property that so many objects have, and so many individuals actually perceive color in different ways. Now, Color is something that Adobe Illustrator actually also comes with. So you'll find out that so many individuals use the colors in Adobe Illustrator to come up with stunning graphic designs. So in order for you to access the color, you have to first of all make a shape where you would want to apply the color. Now after that, you can select that shape or select any vector that you've created, and then you'll come right here in the properties panel, and under appearance you'll see the fill property, and then you actually see a palette right here that has got so many colors. So you can actually select different colors that you can use in your design. Adobe Illustrator comes with all the colors that you will need for your project. So guys, don't worry, there is a lot of color that you can use. So guys, you'll find out that different individuals from different cultures actually perceive colors differently. This will actually give you a brief overview of how specific colors have been used and what each specific color actually represents. So as a graphic designer, keep it at the back of your mind that whenever you're using color, that specific color has to mean something, and that specific color communicates something to the audience. So don't just pick any color from anywhere and use it. Keep at the back of your mind that colors that are actually reddish and orangish and yellowish represent excitement, and then those that are actually very, very, very yellow and tending to green actually represent cheerfulness. Green tending to blue represents comfort, and then there's also this other area that represents happiness, optimism, loyalty for purple, and then power for pink, tending to red, and then some purple, elegancy, and so much and so much. So guys, make sure that you get a true representation of the color that you're going to use and use it in your graphic design. Don't just move ahead and use the colors without first of all making some research and getting to know how these colors affect your design and how they affect the audience. So guys, moving ahead, the other point I want to talk about is value. Now value is just lightness or darkness of a color. Now guys, you find out that you won't use like solid colors, just like right here. You can't just choose a plain green in your design, or maybe a plain blue, or maybe a plain pink orange color in your design. Adobe Illustrator gives you a very good way of finding out the value of each specific color, or finding out how light and how dark each specific color is. Now, still under the appearance part of the properties panel and under the fill property, now you either use the swatches or this color mix. This color mix actually gives you a way of mixing colors and testing out the values of each specific color that you're trying to use. So keep it at the back of your mind that you can always use this other part to detect the value of each specific color that you're using, so that you can come up with the right value in your graphic design. Now, different designers actually use colors in different ways to come up with specific designs, and you'll find out that in some designs, colors are actually being used in terms of how light or dark they are. For example, in this design, they are using a dark blue for the top, and then this blue fades in as the words actually intertwine with the image. So you'll find out that value is being used in quite a number of designs, and that it's just varying the specific colors that you're using. So guys, note it that you shouldn't choose solid colors. You should actually vary the tones or the value of the specific colors. Now, there are so many terminologies in color, and you can always make research here and there on what these terminologies are and how you can use them for your own good in your graphic designs. So guys, moving ahead, the other point I want to talk about is typography. Typography. So type affects how your designs look and feel and the message they are giving to the given audience. Now, still in Adobe Illustrator, there is another tool called the type tool. Now, the type tool, I think that the guys that developed this program actually picked inspiration from the typography element of graphic design to come up with this specific tool of Adobe Illustrator that helps you come up with text in your graphic design. Now, for you to actually access the type tool, just tap on the T on your keyboard, and this tool will actually come. If you're not able to, if you don't have a keyboard, you only have a mouse, you can come actually on this tools panel and look for this T for type tool. Keep it at the back of your mind. T for type tool, P for pen tool, and etc. I'm going to be giving you these tips and tricks in my next video of getting started with Adobe Illustrator. So guys, watch out for my other videos so that you can get these tips for yourself. So moving ahead, for that type tool, for you to use a type tool, actually just actually click anywhere where you want to put text on your canvas, and then type anything that you would want to type. So you'll find out that most individuals actually have got lots and lots of typefaces or fonts that are installed on their computers. Now, as a graphic designer, you should look for various types and typefaces and fonts and font families that you can install on your computer, so that you can have a variety of fonts that you can use here and there in your graphic design. So guys, make it a point that when you're selecting any specific type of font, you should keep it at the back of your mind that all of these fonts actually communicate something, and that they represent something, they mean something. Bold fonts mean something, light fonts mean something, and regular fonts also mean something. There are fonts that are of the olden times, and there are fonts of this digital era that most digital designers are actually using. So make some research about fonts and how you can use specific fonts to communicate what you're trying to communicate to the specific audience. So guys, keep it at the back of your mind that the text you're using has to match the images, the shapes, the lines, plus other elements, because you will find out that you have to make sure that that text you use harmonizes with the other elements that you're using to come up with your graphic design. Now, guys, just a reminder, these elements actually don't work alone. They actually work with other principles of design. And if at all you'd want to know about the principles of design, check the description below for a link to a video that is going to give you the principles of graphic design. These principles are going to show you how you can apply the elements of graphic design to your work. So guys, that is it. When it comes to text, just make sure that each text represents a specific feeling and scenario, and the text relates to what you're trying to do. So guys, just keep that at the back of your mind. So guys, moving on, the next point is texture. Now, texture is the feeling that you get when you touch on a surface, and in this case for graphic design, it's the feeling that you always get when you see a specific design, or the background of a specific design, or maybe how that texture has been used with other elements, for example, text. Now, texture can actually be furry, smooth, rough, soft, glossy, etc. So, depending on what you're trying to communicate, you can actually add texture to your graphic design. For example, there's this image right here for Coca-Cola that actually gives me a very, very good example of how texture has been used in graphic design. Remember, Coca-Cola's slogan is refreshing yourself, and it has to do with refreshment. And we all know that water actually refreshes your body. So these guys actually use the texture of water to add to the slogan of Coca-Cola. that refreshment that the water gives you is the same feeling that Coca-Cola gives you. The designer of this poster actually brought this out very well. So guys, moving on, the next point is space. Now, space can either be positive or negative. Positive space is the space that is occupied by your elements, the shapes, the lines, the color, and all these other elements that I've been talking about. Just like you can see right here, this right here is a positive space being occupied by the text, and this illustration right here, plus this image right here. So the negative space is this space around these other elements. Now, as a graphic designer, you need to learn how to play with this space, because if at all you use very less space than you're supposed to use, then your design won't come out very well. Also, if you use a lot of space than required, then your design will also not come out very well. So you should balance this space that you're using so that you can communicate effectively. For example, there are quite other designs that use space very well. For example, just like you can see all these designs right here, they either use positive space or negative space to communicate effectively. Now, space actually also enables other elements to either stand out very loudly or less loudly. For example, in this design right here, you find out that the space around the text and the image are actually enabling them to actually stand out from these other elements around the design. Now, designers actually use space in very, very many ways, and you'll find out that this space can be played around using the principles of design. So you'll find out that the elements of design are actually very crucial, but they can't stand alone. They require the principles of design so that they can be very effective. Now, as a graphic designer, keep it in mind that one element can't actually help you communicate effectively. All these 8 elements have to play together to make sure that you communicate effectively in your graphic design. Now, my other point that I wanted to actually give you guys as a bonus point is image. Now, you'll find out that all these posters that I've been showing you, all these design examples right here, have got images within them. You'll find out that most graphic design out there actually has images. It's very hard for you to find a graphic design out there that doesn't have images. Guys, actually, images play a very huge role when it comes to graphic design because they give the designer the liberty to actually play around with text together with images and to combine other shapes together with images. So you'll find out that you'll have to use specific images to communicate specific things in your graphic design. Images also help your viewers to relate with the designs that you've come up with, because if at all you apply an image of a human being in a specific design, then other viewers of this specific design relate to it very well, because if at all they can see a human in the design, then they can actually take on that design and actually take on the information within that specific design. So keep it in mind that images play a very huge role when it comes to graphic design, and that they can be used with other elements of design. For example, text, for example, shapes, and color. So you make sure that the images that you use match the text, the color, and other elements. Now guys, I've talked about the elements of design in this video, but I've been reminding you that these elements don't work alone. They work with the principles. So in order for you to make sure that these elements I've taken you through today work coherently together, you have to apply the principles of design to these elements. So guys, check the description for a link to a video that is going to give you the principles of design well explained. So guys, that was it. I hope this video gave you an in-depth overview of what the elements of graphic design are. Make sure to check out my video for the principles of graphic design that are going to show you how these elements can be used effectively so that you can become an effective communicator. So guys, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss out on any videos that are coming out. So guys, bye-bye, and see you soon.